Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you hear this message. And this is Dave Emmons Show, and my guest today is Tom Althouse. I've talked to him a couple of times before. Very interesting. I've been talking about some of my solo, shows that I've told you about. I said, keep your eyes open. Don't believe everything you hear. Give your consciousness a high level and think about what's going on right now in our lives and in this country and in this world. We're also syndicated through WDY radio. That's in Maryland, and that's my buddy Eddie Carson's. So you'll hear that we'll have different breaks, 4 segments of this show. And a while ago, Tom and I kept trying to go through Zoom. Not knocking Zoom. Somebody's nailing us. If somebody is after Tom or and me. I mean, I don't. I mean, Tom has more information than I do about a lot of this stuff, but I'm on the, I guess, preface it of knowing a lot more than a lot of people want me to. But Tom Althouse, he's a screenplay writer, and he's been an author, and he's also still doing that type of work. And he'll tell you a little bit about the Matrix and what his part was in that, and also the corrupt Hollywood that really ripped him off and truly ripped him off. I know you might hear rumors out there, this and that. This another lady had a lawsuit, and then Tom had a lawsuit, and they both lost it, and they were both considered phonies. But that's not true with Tom. I've talked to Tom before, and I know I talked to a guy just here lately, and I found out he could be on the other side of the fence. I don't want to mention any names. I know Tom is going to be protective about some of the names too. So, Tom, Aldous, is there anything else you want to add to what you're doing right now?
Well, I think it's very important to show evidence. I think everybody should be called on the carpet to show evidence.
Right.
And that's what's needed. I mean, people, if they're going to use critical thinking, it's like the other side says we're on a chessboard. They claim it's a chessboard, a chess game. That's how they view it. That's how they talk about it. Their contacts when they talk to me. And so right now, yes, the documentary is going forward. I guess that's like a chess game. We've got interviews such as yourself here, and you saw how heavily we were interrupted. And that's commonplace in our situation. Right now, I have different hosts from certain truth community saying, stop talking, stop doing interviews. You're going to put your son and you in danger. You could get killed. And my answer, and my son's answer too, is we're going to keep going. We're not going to stop. We don't go to the end zone and then turn and go off the field. We finish the run. We finish the play. We win the game. So we're not going to stop. We're going to do more, if anything else. So documentary team coming soon is working very hard on the documentary. And I think it's, as I said, put the money where the mouth is. Let's show our evidence. So right here, again, is the copyrighted script that became The Matrix. It's bolted, sealed, blue ribbon. This is what the specialist and director of the Copyright Office said will make it irrefutable. So your gentleman that talked to you before, this will shut him down, and or should. And then we've got the date on this one. This particular version of this copyright is 1998. Matrix was shot in 1999. This is the one that was used on set. And it's not 8 pages of scribbled notes. Like, remember they said about the case? The case was thrown by an attorney who was classmates with the Warner Bros. Attorneys. He said it'd be 8 pages of scribbled notes. This is 128 pages. And if we look at that real quick, the guy who was brought in to throw the case, right here, Tony Rankin, on Maui, was brought in to throw the case to represent me. I didn't know who he was. He solicited me, and he was not eligible to practice law. Not eligible to practice law.
Why? Because he was out of his jurisdiction, or?
No, because he had a suspended license.
Oh, okay.
So they brought him to throw my case. That's why when they say Tom lost his case, and it's like that's all they want to put on the mainstream media. Well, he wasn't eligible to practice law. And he didn't just stop there. He made sure that things such as evidence that did not go in, such as the submitting attorney, James Boyd of Norfolk, submitted the full thing. And here's an affidavit. I can send this to you if you want to see a full copy of it. Next page, you'll see that it's notarized. I've got my evidence. I got my facts. It's going up quick right now, but I can send you copies. And then on the other page is this. This is the important part that in his packet he sent me is this submission letter, June 25th, 1993. His letterhead, Boyd and Boyd. Everybody can check Boyd and Boyd in Norfolk. Yep. And you'll see too, certified mail to the story department at Warner Brothers, 4000 Warner Brothers Lane, June 25th, 1993. Everything from music, you name it, and the tracking number and receipt is right there.
Right.
Of the materials sent. Rankin, the guy who was supposed to throw the case so everybody can say, oh, well, Tom lost his case. Rankin, we have the email from him saying James Boyd will have nothing. He claims he talked to him, that James Boyd had nothing. Well, James Boyd had everything. So he didn't want me talking to James Boyd. James Boyd, the submitting attorney, had everything. So that's how they throw your case, and then they tell the world you lost. And, yeah, that's how they do it. That's how they play it.
Out there hearing this, Tom Althouse, he actually wrote The Matrix, and they stole it from him, changed characters and changed some of the scenes and the names, and there it is there for all non-believers and disbelievers, and I guess naysayers. I've been hearing that last couple of days from a couple of different people, but
yeah, that's what's going to happen. They're going to do that. Now I'm going to open this right now for you, Dave.
Okay.
And what do you find? We're going to open it up. I'm going to be very careful with it. I don't want to wreck it because it has to stay in its condition. Okay, opening it up. Here we go, right here. Same piece.
Right.
To the train station scene. Train station scene, little girl, liquid mirrors, silvery mirrors. Liquid mirrors are the security devices at the train station scene. You got a crowd, not a single static family, but a crowd going forward. On the next page, you'll see what's going on. People are trying to put their kids, their little girls and little boys into the program, specifically a little girl named Brittany here.
Right.
And they change it to Sati, just move the letters around as they make it up on set. And that's what's going on. Wachowskis didn't even understand what was going on in the train station scene. So on their fan page, as they call it, they said it's just a subplot. No, it's an integral to a satisfying ending. It's integral to understanding how the story ties together. The little girl at the train station is not a subplot, Wachowskis. Just a subplot, as they say. That's all they put for it. The little girl is integral because it reminds Neo of the daughter he lost. They took that relationship out. And that's part of the reason that they had another writer brought in to finish Assassins, preceding them given the science project, my work, is they destroyed the relationship, the sentimental relationship, sentimental central character. They ripped it out of Assassins. Another writer had to be brought in on that project. So what they did was they ripped out the relationship of Neo and his daughter out of Matrix in the original work. People are going to see the original work because after the documentary, we're going to make the original film as it was. That's why people are coming forward right now to talk to you, and any other host saying, don't listen to this guy. He's full of it. He's evil. He's, whatever else they want to say, narcissist, whatever. The thing is, no, I did the work to try to whisper through art, warning about a one world society, what's coming from my personal knowledge of being groomed for the religious right, and also the FBI. So,
Tom, I know that you've got several things going on here. You've been with Disney, you've been with Pat Robertson, you've been with all these people, and you were groomed throughout the years, and you were an actor for a little bit, and I know that part of it, the past of, and you explained it quite well the last couple of times I know you've been on with me. I see that the corrupt Hollywood, just like you're calling it. Right. I guess these groups, I don't know what secret groups you might tell us about it, that are paying or putting money in the back pockets of the judges. Is that right, Tom?
Absolutely right. In fact, in our situation, when they say the case, he lost his case. Well, they picked Gary Klausner. Judge Gary Klausner was the first pick by former President Bush and his dream team. Newsweek called it his dream team. Bush's dream team was Pat Robertson's Law and Justice Center. As if that's an oxymoron. His Law and Justice Center, they picked Gary Klausner to be the first pick for California by Bush when he came to office, specifically placed, as Robertson says, so he won't be a second-class citizen. So he calls it conservative decisions will be made to outweigh liberal ones. Well, that's not really the case. What he's saying is, forget evidence, just give me decisions, more decisions where he says he's no longer a second-class citizen. So with my work so clearly here, including the graphics they put in, the first graphic they shot in the Matrix has all my stuff in it, high school, birthday, my dad's name, my name. It's all in the first graphic in this piece that they shot.
I see music sheet there too. Did you write some of
the music? Yeah, the music. I'm glad you brought that up because Rankin, remember that Tony Rankin on Maui?
Uh-huh.
They were very concerned about, remember Warner Bros. Was his classmates, the attorneys for Warner Bros. Was his classmates. They all went to the University of Berkeley. And they were very concerned about the music. I'm glad you said that because he destroyed the tapes that he had in his possession as he's apparently going to represent me. He destroyed them, never gave it back. We found the actual music copies again. That attorney
was paid off?
paid off completely. He was given a lot of rewards and everything. He even did things where he said he's not going to do depositions. He wouldn't do discovery. He made sure the case was thrown. He made sure evidence was altered and lost. He made sure that no deadlines were met. The case was over before we even started. He took 2.5 years, basically, to run out the clock with a suspended license to make sure we wouldn't win. So they did the art of war, they call it. They won by fraud and then did it so it could be a public monkey trial. There was no trial. So what happens is now we'll go back on fraud, and their attorneys such as Tony Rankin, Linda Burrow of Warner Brothers, they'll be facing federal criminal charges, could go to jail, and they know it.
Wow. This case has been going on ever since 2013, I guess.
It's gonna come back once the documentary's done. I was told by a wonderful man who was a Met opera star, Richard Cray, beautiful man, did a show with him, and a guy who was the father of virtual reality. They called me right after the case was thrown in 2014, and they had tea with me, like I'm having now, tea. And they said, look, you got to educate the public first, the court of public opinion. That's why there's such a battlefront now with people like you said coming to you saying, don't listen, it's fraudulent. We've got the evidence. There's no refuting it. There's no way around it. We've got it. Yeah, so this is a lame effort.
And
once we educate the public, we'll be back in court. If we need to be, the documentary will take care of business. And if we get name credit back for the work, which Hollywoods are now negotiating, Hollywood studios, then we won't have to go to court.
Right. Yeah. I'm just going to advise the public, if they start zoning in on us and start clipping this show like they did Zoom a while ago, and they've been doing that to me the last 2 or 3 days, and this one was really bad. So that's why we're on Skype now doing it. Well, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, well, they'll find out anyway.
That's all right. Yeah.
They'll find out anyway. But it's information they don't want you to get out. They don't want you to get the truth out. It's just like me with disclosure, and it's just like me with the senseless wars, and everybody that makes money except the little guy. We die. We die for making the money. Yeah.
I think this is a good point to show a graphic. I'd like to show a graphic. What was the first graphic in The Matrix? I think we should just look at it real quick for any new viewers and see, what did the Wachowskis stick in the first graphic in The Matrix? And I think that brings it home. I mean, obviously we've got the train station scene, Jack's the neck, Squiddies, everything else is in there. Underground, the pulse wave coming out, little girl hugging, pointing to the sun. It's all there. It's all there. So I'm not concerned about winning the case. I'm trying to educate intellects, people that are smart in the public. I'm not trying to educate everybody. I'm not going to take the time. My last son's life is at stake. So I'm going to educate those that are smart, that use critical thinking. That's what I'm concerned about, not the trolls. So if you want to share,
How afraid are you about the threat of your son's life?
There's a deal with Disney right now. Basically, I can call it a deal. It's not a friendly deal. What's going on right now is they had asked me, and it's recorded. It's for the documentary. Recorded it, taped it. Disney Contact, one of Bob Iger's boys, contacted me. And what we have is they're saying, how do we know you have more screenplays besides the one? There's common knowledge throughout Hollywood that the script was The Immortals, that it was ripped off by the Wachowskis. It's common knowledge. That's how I knew about the graphic I'm going to tell you or show you, is that I was informed by the inside. They don't like them. They're arrogant. So
yeah, could you walk through the gates of Hollywood? I mean, of some of the studios?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Walk through?
Yeah. I was considered an asset. In fact, one player on tape says star player on the bench. Until I learned to behave myself, I would be kept on the bench. And they even provide wives, everything else. This is not a fantasy. It's not a far-fetched tale. It's what they do. It's business with them. If they want you in and they want your image to be right, they provide everything. They don't take chances, just like they're casting a show. They set you up well. So
is this what group is this? MK Ultra or?
This is basically the studios that are actually under the Alphabet Boys, we call them, these agencies that are there because their excuse for being involved in the hands in the pie of the studios, they won't tell you it's about making profit. They can make the most money off of just a single family author, just take his work, destroy him, and you made billions. No, they'll say it's about quality control. They'll say it's about national security, that content control has to be checked by the Alphabet Boys on studios. And that's the excuse they use to infiltrate. And the religious right does that too.
Tom, how political is Hollywood? I know I see them leaning left.
I would say 100%, 100%.
100%.
That's why these entries are stuck in the films, like the one I'm going to show you. They're stuck in the films for a reason. And they're supposed to put it in plain sight, all this stuff. So the one by the Wachowskis I'll show you was done because they were mad at the studios for bringing another writer in to write Assassins. And so they were mad, so they stuck something in the films they weren't supposed to do. In fact, they weren't supposed to pick the title Matrix. The reason you see Matrix as a title, Dave, for your audiences, is because the Immortals is the original title.
Right.
They actually copyrighted my title, no body of work, the Immortals. And I can show you that in a second. So they switched the letters around and added an X. That's how you get Matrix. Here's
Right.
what they were supposed to pick from.
Now, this brand new movie also is a takeoff from the Matrix, and it's what is it called? The Externals or something like that?
There's Terminal List.
Terminal List?
I don't know. Someone's saying about Immortals being out now, that they're actually trying to tweak my nose by bringing out something called the Immortals. It's supposed to make me angry and react.
I thought it's the Eternals. That's what it is.
Maybe
Eternals. I think
it's
that's
supposed to play off the Immortals. It's supposed to play off Immortals, whatever it is.
right.
But here's the Copyright Office with Assassins. Remember I said Wachowski's had to have another writer brought in because they failed so badly. There's the names, Dina Laurentiis and the Wachowskis on that. That's a copyright entry. Dina Laurentiis and the Wachowskis. Dina Laurentiis, the one that wined and dined the Wachowskis and promised them beautiful women, fame, fortune, all that. So that's in the Copyright Office under Assassins, right?
Right.
Now, if you go to the next entry, look at this. So here is Dina Laurentiis again. Dina Laurentiis, Paradise Films again, an investment firm. Now we expect to see something with Wachowskis, right?
Right.
The Immortals. My title.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the Immortals, my title. And lo and behold, there's no body of work here. There's Dina Laurentiis, who winded on the Wachowskis. It's on Assassins. Paradise Films, another film company he puts on there. He's really greedy about this work. And
Wow.
look what happens. You got all these subtitles under my title, The Immortals, but no body of work. It creates slots at the Copyright Office to steal the work. That, for people that have a brain and critical thinking, they'll follow that. They'll understand what's going on here.
Right.
Those that don't, no worries. I don't want to bother with them. And here you go. Here is the next entry. Just the investment firms, more investment firms. Dina Laurentiis takes his name off of this whole project, The Immortals, when I go to Hollywood in 96, July 96. There's The Immortals, more subtitles, no body of work, only investment firms. Dina Laurentiis runs for the hills at this point. And all those titles. Now, the Wachowskis were supposed to pick one of these titles so that they could have a slot at the Copyright Office under Immortals. They don't. They're so angry about Assassins, right? They're so angry about Assassins that another writer was brought in, Assassins, Dina Laurentiis, wined and dined them, that they did not pick one of the titles and left all the studios hanging in the wind now, all at risk. But that's not all they did. The Wachowskis went farther than just not picking the title that would ensure a slot. They did the first graphic, and I want to go to that if we can share screen.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm now at start sharing. Let's see if it works. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can see your screen. It's a little screen up to the left. There's the screen. Okay. You just have to lower my picture down.
Let me get this up here. Let me get this up.
Okay.
1 second. I'll move this aside. Miro page. This is one of those things I'm working with the documentary team on, so you're going to see this up.
Right.
Open up, baby. Where are you? Okay, hang on. We're getting a little.
You got to get my big head out of there.
No, it's okay. We got this interference going on, so I'm trying to get. They may not let it happen. They may not let this happen, but I'm going to try. Let's see if we can get this to go. Come on.
I see.
It's not popping it up yet.
Yeah.
There we go. Finally, let's go. Okay, so watch this. Personal inserts. Here we go. Okay, now I'm going to show you, Dave, is the first graphic in the Matrix. This is the interrogation scene, which is also the first scene I wrote in my piece, is the first scene they shot for the Matrix. And in it goes this piece of information. Now, this is what you'll see in the screenshot when it's frozen. Doesn't mean much at first, is it? And you can see in the corner, the page is turning really quickly. It's turning. This is a split second upside down. So let's invert it, clean it up a bit. Here we go. Now watch what happens here, Dave.
Okay.
And for audiences that have the smarts for this. Watch what happens. It's gonna tweak on me here. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look at this real quick. This is the first graphic, the most important one, where the Wachowskis say anything in for split seconds for their eyes only. And they stuck lots of things they said in the Matrix to keep it spooky and mysterious, and they'll never tell you what it means. Well, let's take a look what it means. So what you have right here is something very, very important, very telling. That first graphic right here is first thing they shot, July 22nd. All right. According to records in 1996 to 99, this was placed in 1999 for the film Matrix. My birthday's listed as July 22nd. You'll see Thomas A. as Neo. First of all, as a writer, anybody as a writer knows not to double name your character. It confuses the audience. So if you have a character named Neo and Thomas A. Anderson, you're confusing your audience. Just pick one, guys. But they put Thomas A., that's my name. Anderson is my Scottish clan name. Go down to the father's name, John Anderson. John is my dad's birth name. Anderson, Scottish clan name. Go down to the schools. You have Owen Patterson High. Owen Patterson is the production manager. So the joke is that Owen Patterson, the production manager, has a high school named after him. Very funny. Michelle McGahee is the art director. She's Neo's mom. Is married to my dad on this graphic. And then you got Central West Junior High to tweak. What? What is the actual thing? You have actually the name. Let's see. Let me go back from, where is the share screen thing? Anyway, I don't see it right now. Anyway, so what we have here in this, what we have is Central West. I'm going to show my diploma real quick. Hold on one second.
Yeah, last time we did a couple of radio interviews and we couldn't see a lot of your proof. So, that's like video. Yeah.
Here's Central West. Central Bucks West, High School West, what we call it, Central West. Central West, that's what we called it, Central West. Central West is what? Neo's school, Central West. My dad, John A., is Neo's dad. Michelle McGahee, the art director, is the mom. Thomas A., my name is Neo, Anderson, our Scottish clan name. July 22nd, well, that's my birthday according to records in the time this graphic was made. According to USAA Insurance, the records were there. In the column, you see TA 4099. TA was 40 and 99. And 380 is numerology for to give up your most cherished worldly possessions to prepare for your death. And the joke from the man who told me from the inside said the Wachowskis were joking in this graphic, the numerology with the 40, your age, your name, TA 4099, is that they're helping you prepare for your death by taking away your most cherished possessions, because numerology 380 means that you give up your most cherished worldly possessions to prepare for your death. Thank you.
Where do you get those numbers? What organization gives you those numbers?
I know, seriously. 380, you can just look it up online. Look up 380 numerology. That's what they would do. They would just look it up online.
Okay.
Numerology 380. Now here's a composite of what I just talked about. And you'll see all this information here. There's my license in the corner, 7259. Animatrix, they corrected in 2003. This graphic, this one I just showed you, was 1999. This 2003 graphics from Animatrix, it's my exact birthday. 7 on the license, 2 on the license, 59, 1 before the 60, dot before the 60, 59 on my license. July 2nd, 59 on the clock. 4 past the 4 in red is 44. I was 44 in 2003. TA 4099, yes, Larry Wachowski, TA 4099. What, 44 in 2003? Yes, Larry Wachowski, I was 44 in 2003. What of it? Birthday corrected. What was it? July 22nd. Yes, Larry Wachowski. That's my birthday in records in 1999 when you made this graphic. What's that, Larry? 2003, July 2nd, 59. Yes, Larry Wachowski. That's my exact birthday in the Animatrix, or in 2003 when you made this graphic there. It cannot be denied. In fact, in the documentary, we're getting a mathematician to do the probabilities of having your exact birthday and corrected birthday, your dad's name, your high school, your birthday, all that in these graphics. The game is over. We're going to court. Larry and Andy, you're going to court. Your attorneys are going to court. Owen Patterson, you want to join us because you're right there with the joke about the school. And you're there. Larry Wachowski actually they blame them. So what's interesting even further is, look at this. I want to see if I can end share screen for a second.
Okay.
I can get out of this.
I'm glad to see this paperwork because I wasn't able to see it in your other interview.
Isn't it something? I mean, is there any questions?
Yeah.
Now watch this. See if we can get back to you again. Can you end my share?
Let's see. I'm used to Zoom, but
my share.
Let's see. I don't.
Wait, I might be able to end on here. I can end it here, maybe. Hold on. Stop. I got it.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah. Confirm. Stop sharing.
Okay.
Am I back?
There you are. Got you back.
Watch this. Watch this. Remember, now keep in mind that graphic had my birthday, my dad's name, our Scottish clan name, double name for Neo. And also, my birthday, as it was in records in 1996 to 99, corrected in 2003. See? And that's not all, Dave. In the Animatrix, you have Tom Park Althouse, my exact full name, across the screen. Anybody can find it at the antique shop turned to antique house graphic in the detective story in Animatrix. So when you see that clock with my exact birthday on it, you can also go to the detective story and see my full name across the screen backwards, Tom Park Althouse. Antique shop turned to antique house in order to put it up there. That's there too. Right. And watch this. Now, the Wachowskis claim, this might be hard to read, the Wachowskis claim in testimony, what do they claim? It says, my brother Andy and I are involved in every single decision regarding all the Matrix trilogy projects, including Matrix 3. Literally, not one single cell, quote, of what will become a Matrix trilogy, quoted, movie is made, edited, created, or exists without my input. Every decision is a co-decision with my brother Andy. Now, what you just saw, we have testimony from Andy, sworn testimony, that everything you just saw was put by Larry Wachowski, the man that became the woman. Mm-hmm. All right. So
is there a time limit on this lawsuit? Is there any kind of a time running out or?
No, there's no statute of limitations on fraud.
All right.
They pushed us to go forward. Just recently, too, they said there's an attorney for you go forward. No, we're doing the documentary first, educate the public. No attorney, no judge will mess like Gary Clauser was bought, right, and put in place by Bush and Robertson's team. And bought attorneys? No. So what we're doing is educate the public first, no statute of limitation on fraud, go forward and go for jail criminal sentences as well as copyright if we need to. And there's no way in
Tom, we're heading up to our first segment. This is Tom Althouse has been talking and showing some good information I haven't seen before, and it's great. And yes, it's a proof that he was involved in the Matrix project. Keanu Reeves, I guess he knows about it too.
He knows.
Yeah, and when we come back from this break, I want to be able to talk to you about Illuminati and other groups that might be involved, sure, and what's going on with Illuminati, because they advertise straight up on the internet. So this is WODY Radio, and it's what you call Odyssey. Actually, there's two names: WDY Radio, Odyssey Radio.live, and this is the Dave Emmons Show, and Tom Althouse is my guest, and we'll be right back in a couple.